called Spellability Skate.
It blocks everything wonderfully. All right, so for those of you just joining us, I'm Gavin Verhey. I'm joined here in the booth
You're pointing at yourself and they can't see you.
By Jacob Van Lunen and Conley Woods, guest host Conley Woods. We're about to show you a match between some very talented magicians. On your right, Alex Bertoncini. Alex is playing Darkblade. He's got some Amiri Angels.
Interestingly enough, he has some Mana Leaks in his Darkblade deck.
Mana Leak.
That's not something you really see that often in a deck
There
like
was
this.
2 in Jerry's list last week.
He has 3 copies of Go for the Throat and 1 Into the Royal.
He has similar worst handwriting.
And 4 copies of Stoneforge, apparently.
I know that one of the guys earlier just had Worm Coil, no engine.
I mean, there's no other card that's called Stoneforge. On the other hand,
Let me look at his,
on the other hand is James Wolfe, who's playing Darkblade with Mirroring Crusader and main deck Spellskite. So should be pretty interesting to see how this plays out. Alex Bertoncini wins the dice roll and has a turn 2 Stoneforge Mystic, which will certainly go a long way towards cementing a position in this matchup. Now,
Much more common than the turn 1 Stoneforge Mystic.
Yeah, exactly. Now, if James has a discard spell for that sword, it's a big issue, but...
I mean, if he has that, I think I would play a discard spell over a Stoneforge Mystic on my own here.
Oh yeah, definitely. Being on the draw with Stoneforge Mystic is not as good as otherwise.
Alright, he's going to grab Plains, cast that Stoneforge of his own, and he's probably going to grab the Sword of War and Peace 30s.
What did Alex grab?
Alex grabbed his
Feast and Famine, right?
Famine.
Yep.
I assume both players have the Batterskull in their hand, because it would seem odd that they wouldn't have just grabbed Batterskull right from the get-go.
There are definitely some hands where having Feast and Famine is better than having Batterskull. But yeah, James definitely has Batterskull. And he's got the Sword of War and Peace also, and that's another artifact hiding next to it, a Spellskite, I believe. Next to Preordained Swamp and Glacial Fortress.
When I play Stoneforge, I like to get the Sword of Freaks and Geeks. That's my favorite one to grab. I don't know what it does, but it sounds cool.
It does sound cool. It's a good TV show.
I never watched it.
I think you'd enjoy it.
It's off the air, right? It's just reruns, I assume?
Yeah, it's over.
You said that's so sad.
It's so good.
Alright, so Alex passes the turn back to James, and James
He's,
untaps.
We expect a Batterskull to come crashing down onto the table after...
Preordained. Yeah. Stoneforge Mystic was pretty good before, but now they can tutor up Baneslayer Angel.
Wait, how's there Batterskull? Now that we know there's Batterskull too?
Well, no, I'm saying that he got Feast and Famine, which tells me that he probably had Batterskull in his hand, right?
No, he does, because he got Inquisition last turn. We know he has
Oh,
Batterskull.
okay. I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah. So now...
I was saying that I thought Alex had one also. Maybe I'm wrong, though.
Now Alex activates this. Oh, and there, there you go. There's the stuff.
Come on.
Yep,
There's the Batterskull.
It was somewhat obvious, though, because in the Darkblade mirror, you get Batterskull first if you're playing Stoneforge on turn 2. So it can't get Inquisitioned when you pass the turn back, which is kind of huge.
To be fair,
Yeah.
To be fair, when he didn't, I guess he Inquisition on turn 1. No, he Inquisition on turn 3, right? No, it was turn 1 because last time he played Creeping Jar, but never mind.
And there comes the other Batterskull.
Yeah.
So now they're Batterskull Wars.
His block?
So yeah, do you think you just trade them off?
He did. I don't know if you're supposed to, but he did. I mean,
I don't know if I like trading them off.
the problem is if you don't, then you take 4, and then next turn you attack back and he blocks, and now you're just down 4 life.
Yeah, I mean, it depends what you have in your hand, too. Maybe if I have,
the player on the
2
play,
lands in my hand.
the player on the play is favored when you trade him off because he's going to be able to return and play again faster.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Maybe if you have the 2 lands, you don't think your opponent does. That's what I was going to say. Because having 5 lands in play with a Batterskull and a Stoneforge is very, very difficult to overcome. So he does have the 5 lands. Maybe he made the block because he thought Alex did not have the 5 lands. He's going to get an Inquisition off here. Yep. And Alex is going to drop his Sword of Cheese and Hammond. Let's see what he finds.
Wow, a nice hand. Jace, Squadronox, Stoneforge Mystic for Alex Bertoncini.
You gotta take Squadron, okay, I think.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
That full art Jace, I think I actually just saw Alex purchasing that from the artist here. moments before this match.
The Clug Altars. Yeah, it's great. Here at the Star City Games Open Series, we have various vendors, performing things like card altars or 3D cards, and it's really cool to come by and see these guys doing their work. And you can buy them, and they look absolutely gorgeous. They'll alter your cards for you for a small fee.
Did Alex draw into the royal there?
Interesting interaction with Spellsky, by the way. You can pay the equip cost to equip to like a Squadron Hawk and something, and then if they go to kill your Squadron Hawk in response, you can just freebie move it over instead of having to spend another more mana. I've seen that be relevant. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's Spellsky just is so much utility. And there's Jace the Mind Sculptor for Alex.
Jace the Spellsky bouncer.
And he goes for Brainstorm.
Yeah, I mean, now, on his next turn, though, the Jace is just going to get killed by the Sword of War and Peace.
Correct.
And not only that, but James...
Well, assuming James has a 5th land.
No, James can just put the Sword of War and Peace and play with the Stoneforge and put it on Spellskite.
Oh, and then attack Alex himself? Well, it depends on how many cards are on Alex, because he can play a land here. If he only
so he's down to 1 card.
I don't know if he has 1 or 2.
I think he has 2.
It looks like he has 2.
So the Jace will either go to 1 or he'll have to attack the Jace himself.
It looks like he has a swamp anyway, so it's pretty irrelevant, but...
Yeah.
I think I might have seen a Glacial Fortress, I'm not totally sure. Yeah. Inquisition for James Wolfe. And sees Alex's Stoneforge Mystic and Preordain. And takes the Preordain. I think he probably figures Alex has enough out already. The Stoneforge Mystic is...
Well, now War and Peace is definitely not killing... Wait, does even... War and Peace in his graveyard. He got it Inquisitioned earlier.
Oh, I misunderstood. Okay.
It looks like it's in play kind of on our screen. I see, like... Or did you think it was in his hand?
I thought it was in his hand from earlier.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I just misunderstood what the game stated. I really don't like that Inquisition at all there. He had 5 lands in play. He could have paid 3 on his opponent's end step, returned the Batterskull to his hand, and put it back in
Or
play
just
with
equip Batterskull.
Yeah, with his Stoneforge.
If he just equips Batterskull... If he just equips
not...
Batterskull and attacks Jace, he either has to eat Jace or the Stoneforge has to die, which then turns off Alex's combo. So, like, that's... I mean, paying 5 mana to equip your Batterskull is not necessarily optimal, but it is an option.
It seems like a better option than passing into a Jace. But he could have also just killed that Jace. Oh, no, I guess he could not have killed
Like I said, he could have
Jace.
either attempted to kill Jace or had killed his opponent's Stoneforge Mystic, which is almost as valuable right now.
Yeah. And also the thing is, if he equips the Stoneforge up with the Batterskull and then crashes in, then if his opponent, like, kills the... if his opponent bounces the Stoneforge back to his hand with Jace, which he would basically
You can just
have
redirect
to,
the...
Yeah, he can just crush his opponent that way.
Alex thinking quite significantly about what cards are going back. Makes a decision.
And let's see what happens here.
All right, there's the equip.
And James is going to go down to 19. James is going to go down to 18, and Alex is going to hop back up to 28.
Whew. Man.
He's going to cast Preordain.
All right, James kind of has back against the wall. See what he does.
Another land. I think it was a Creeping Dark Pit, but he didn't play it. Must have been Dark Six Shores.
They're gonna give Spellskite Batterskull and serve.
He's basically just gaining life here because it can't actually kill the Stoneforge Mystic, but I mean, it also gains Alex to life. I feel like this game's going to get out of hand.
This game's going to last a very long time. I think Alex will be able to run away with it eventually.
Yeah, he has a Jace.
He's got an active Jace. And you could probably just try to start Fate Sealing him now, right?
Why do you show him his... Oh, that's his lands. I was wondering why he was showing him his hand. Just a free peek.
I think you just keep taking Jace up, right? At this point?
He hasn't ticked it up yet. He's brainstormed twice.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I think now's the
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Yeah, especially if you want to cut your opponent off of relevant cards to draw too. So
Yeah, he's got such a solid grip on this game right now, and it doesn't seem like damage is like the best way to try to win this game.
So it serves in. Some life is traded. All of his lands untapped. James pitches his last card, which I believe you're right, Calmy. I think it's the Dark Slick Shores.
Creeping Tar Pit is kind of a beating.
Yeah.
Peak skis. He left it on top.
Yeah.
Never a good sign.
He's like super fast left it on top too.
And then a Mirror Angel.
Yeah, so we're looking at probably a land that is not a fetch land or a man land for James. And that's probably James.
Even if it's a fetch land, you would still leave it there.
And there's the,
yeah, I mean, he would still leave it there.
And there's the third equipment. Duress.
Why would you...
What?
Huh?
That seems like a bad play. Why'd you even play the Stoneforge there?
Yeah, I don't know why you would play the Mystic.
Or if you're going to, why don't you at least like brainstorm at Jace once more and like hide it?
Well, I mean, he didn't know he had a duress.
I mean,
he had to find out the duress was there by using Jace, so he couldn't Jace again.
Right.
But he still shouldn't have just not played the Stoneforge Mystic. It's not like he needed the 1/2.
Huh, that's kind of curious play.
Or failed to find. That's just way better than getting a thing in the yard. That was just very awkward. I think he's just so far ahead that he's just getting sloppy.
Which is true. He's definitely got complete control of this game.
Yeah, there's little to no chance.
But I mean, that just seemed like a very obvious thing to fix. Why is a Mirror Angel dead?
Did he just block?
You can't block a Mirror Angel with a...
No, I mean, like, did he attack and have block?
I don't know what just happened.
Okay, so I think James attacked with his Batterskull Stoneforge Mystic, and Alex double blocked, once with the Mirror Angel, once with his Stoneforge Mystic to kill off the other Stoneforge Mystic.
I thought it was still Alex's turn.
And then, so then Alex's Mirror Angel died.
Isn't it just way better to block with your Stoneforge Mystic and your Batterskull Stoneforge Mystic? It still does the same amount of damage, but it's way... Wait, how did... Yeah, I don't understand that. Am I wrong there?
No.
Okay.
You are not.
So this game is just like the sloppiest thing ever?
I think, at this point, Alex is very far ahead.
I understand that, but I mean, these are like...
So this is not a rug deck.
It is true, this is not rug. Wow. So there comes Squadron Hawk to find Alex a bunch more Squadron Hawks. He just plays them all out. In this situation, I think I would hold my Hawks in case he has Day of Judgment, because that's like the only way that maybe you find bad.
He still has Jace.
Yeah, I mean, you know, obviously it's a rough situation. But so Alex picks that up.
Got a cool, calm 45 life.
So on Twitter, a question that was brought up: more dominant deck, Affinity or Cobblade?
Affinity.
Cobblade.
Affinity. It was 50. Affinity was played by half of the people. That was the problem. And there was one way to build Affinity.
I think what I'm frustrated with about Cobblade is that there haven't been bannings. I feel like it's to the point where they're
sure, but Cobblade, the time span, it was built in Paris. I know because I was one of the people that built it, and so it's been around for less than 3 months because the next Pro Tour hasn't happened yet. And if you compare that to things like Jund and Fairies, which, while maybe they were a little less oppressive, they lasted for a year. Like, there's no way it's been so... And plus, there's just so many ways to build it. That's the other thing. It's not like it's been like, here's the cookie cutter thing, build it this way. Like, it's actually adapted and changed so much. Affinity was just like, these 50 cards are insane, and then you get to pick your whether you want to run Ancient Den or Tree of Tales, and then whether you want to run
like Shrapnel Blast or like Oxidize.
But I mean, everything else was the same about it. And, like, Affinity, if it had sticked around, if it hadn't been banned, I think for the entire 2 years it was around, it would have been the best deck hands down.
That's fair.
I don't know, like, Callblade is a very, very good deck, but if you let Affinity run its course, I think Affinity just proves to just be way more dominant.
What? Let's hear your take, JVL. You said Cobblade. I'm interested to hear what your argument is.
I think Cobblade is I don't know. It's just the most dominant deck I've seen in like years. And that's probably why I'm like mirrored in times like when I was playing around then. Like I had friends that played Constructed. I didn't really play that much, but it never seemed like they kept banning things from Affinity. Like they kept, and it also wasn't like every single tournament wasn't won by Affinity. Like people would make decks like designed to beat Affinity and win tournaments with them.
Yeah, but people can't make decks, or people don't make decks to specifically beat Callblade because
Callblade's not enough of the field.
Exactly.
Like that's the thing is Callblade is like this silent monster because even though it's like significantly more than 50% of every single top 8, it's a deck that
20% of the field,
probably less than 20% of the field. And the reason it's less than 20% of the field is because like people have trouble finding 4 Jason Mind Sculptors.
Well, they have trouble finding that, and the other thing is that like Callblade is not a deck that you feel comfortable with if you haven't played it a bunch.
That's true.
Affinity was like a deck that every player that wanted to be the best would pick up because they thought the deck itself would win tournaments for you. So like, yeah, a lot of bad players played Affinity, which hurt its win percentage, whereas like only the best of the best play Callblade because it's hard to get
which
and because it's difficult. Yeah, which helps win percentage.
That's completely fair.
You had 50% of the field was Affinity. Like, I mean, not always, but sometimes half of a tournament would be Affinity, just because you could build the deck for $100. Like Ravagers were $20 each. Everything else was a common in the whole deck, or uncommon. And so, like, you'd have, like, a lot of these, like, really bad players that are like, yeah, I want to win this week, let's play Affinity. And, like, they didn't realize that, I mean, Affinity did take some skill, obviously.
Affinity's hard.
Yeah, but it doesn't look hard on the surface. You're just like, I'll sacrifice
I just
stuff.
attack with things.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, the deck has 40 cards that are commons. You have Artifact Lands, you have Disciple the Vault, Frog Mites.
It's a lot easier to play without combat damage now.
It is true.
It's a lot worse without combat damage now.
Also true. Not a lot worse, significantly worse,
different.
But not like
it's different. It's a swarm deck now.
I don't know if it's like easier to play because sometimes you have to be like very careful. Like if you're gonna go all in with Ravager, like you know, like when you want to move your Ravager counters, like do they have a removal spell or not? I don't know. Like the defining thing for Callblade for me is just how much play the deck has. Like Affinity is very linear. Like it does one thing, it attacks them, they die really quickly. With Callblade, like it can be aggressive, it can be controlling, it can attack you from one angle, another angle, a different angle. And I mean, I think Affinity was the more dominant deck, but I think something really notable about Callblade is just how much it does and how it does it so well. How it uses its mana every turn, how it can play basically every role there is to play, and you know that's why it caters to the best players. I think. Pretty interesting stuff.
The deck fights.
The deck fights. Like I said, like with Affinity, if you mulligan down to like 4 cards, you're in a pretty rough spot. With Callblade, like I'm mulligan down to 4 cards and just cast a Squadron Hawk and I'm fine. So it's interesting stuff. It looks like we're about to get set up for game 2 here.
There's nothing like the 3-land 1 Squadron Hawk hand.
Yeah.
I'll take 3 lands 1 Stoneforge.
I mean, I bet there's some games you can keep land, Stoneforge, Mystic, and probably still win. So.
Oh yeah.
All right, so Creeping Target from Alex Bertoncini, and I think that's a Dark Slick Shores, followed by a Marsh Flats from James Wolfe.
And the game, it's
still,
not the 2-drop you want. Spellskite's awesome, but not when it's on 2. Unless you're playing it's an aggro deck.
How much do you guys like Spellskite in the mirror match?
I mean, you're going to bring in like Divine Offerings and stuff, so you probably need it. What do they have on their sideboard that hits it? 3 Divine Offering. 2 Oust. Oust is a big one.
I mean, one of the biggest things for me, I don't know if you bring Oust in this matchup, but one of the biggest things for me is how it blocks a Stoneforge Mystic. Like, if they go for Feast and Famine, like, they have to go on the Battered Skull plan.
They go for any sword.
Yeah, exactly. Now, obviously, Hawk beats that, but...
So,
the fact that it also saves you that tempo loss, like I was saying, if they do have like a go for a throat effect or whatever, and they do go to equip something, you still get to like equip your Spellskite and attack that turn, which is pretty big because losing tempo off your mana, like if you go to equip Sword of Feast and Famine hoping to get in and they have the removal spell, like now it's much easier to go, oh, I'll just pay my 2 life, move it over to this Spellskite, now that you're trying to kill my guy, and then get you.
Now, what we just saw there is...
Mirren Crusader.
Yeah, James Wolfe plays Mirren Crusader over the Squadron Hawks. I like that a lot. I think that card is awesome.
It's very similar to the Abyssal Persecutors out of my Black-Blue deck.
Yeah.
Like, it has a very similar effect on the game. It's just...
All right, so Alex drops that to 16.
Problem here is, we know, he got Battered Skull with Stoneforge? Am I wrong?
I assume he got Battered Skull. Although if he got Battered Skull, I don't know why. Oh, I guess, yeah, that is pro-black, so that cannot do that.
But yeah, but I was thinking he could just block, because now he's got to lose his Spellskite or his Jace. Or did he Fate Seal himself? Maybe he Fate Sealed himself.
No, it looks like he brainstormed.
It's just strange to just throw your lambs to slaughter, so to speak. Instead of playing a little more conservatively.
All right, so the Battle Skull's pretty good here.
Oh, I'm being told he got War and Peace with his Stoneforge Mystic, which means he already had Battle Skull in hand. Again. Apparently you just always draw that card. I guess he probably brought in more. He has 2 more in the sideboard.
Okay, so he's gonna brainstorm again, and this time maybe it's a sword to suit up that Mirror Crusader.
So he just lost. He just lost his guy, right? His Spellskite. I don't know why you like. He's gonna gain the life from Batter Skull anyway, so attacking for 4 is irrelevant. That just seemed like a terrible attack. The board remained the same except you lost a Spellskite. Because you don't gain life if you block the pro black guy.
I mean, you can't even block it. Like you.
No,
like,
if it's pro black.
I mean, you can't even block the Mirror Crusader or the Batter Skull. Like Mirror Crusader is
yeah,
so
but
good
what
here.
I'm saying is if you just leave Mirror Crusader back on defense there, he doesn't lose Spellskite. Alex, the life total stayed the exact same.
And you just don't lose the Spellskite.
Yeah,
so he just gave up a Spellskite.
And with 2 Mirror Crusaders in play, I think you just want to have a Spellskite around. I mean, there's very few things that can target it anyway. I mean, Dave Judgment's pretty bad, but does Alex have Dave Judgment? He has one. James Wolfe has 1 Dave Judgment on his sideboard.
Alex has none between the main and board. All right, so interested to see what we're gonna find this turn. It's Duress.
Another Mirror Crusader.
A 3rd Mirror Crusader.
Wow, that's a lot of crusading. I just stepped back in, and Crusaders are everywhere.
Yeah, James made a pretty bad attack with a Mirror Crusader the turn before, throwing his Spellskite in the way of a Batter Skull.
And now he's going to be able to cast this Mirror Crusader with Mana Leak, Mana Open if he wants.
Oh, those weren't all in play.
No.
I came over and I was like, what is happening?
The board's actually pretty fair right now. 2 equipment versus Jace is pretty equal.
Attack, block.
No. Oh, yeah. It's not War and Peace on there. It's Feast and Famine.
Yeah.
That was another reason to keep Spellskite around. If he drops War and Peace on his pro black guy.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big game.
Interesting how the Germans are black, so Mirror Crusader fights against that pretty nicely. Block, you don't gain any life, nothing happens.
Was that a social statement?
What's that?
You said the germs are black. I didn't know if you were being, like, radical here.
All right, so we get to see Alex's hand. What do you think you take here? I think you just have to take War and Peace.
I mean, I don't think you could beat War and Peace. You have to just keep Jacing it, and that's not going to win you the game.
Yeah, so...
I mean, he could take... This is Duress, or...
Yeah, it's Duress, so he can't even take the Amari Angel if he wants to.
But, I mean, you could take Jace just to protect your own, but... It's funny, these decks don't even... There are no counter spells. Like, I mean, there's a few, but it's not a battle of counter spells.
And there goes Jason.
I saw Feast and Famine, an Arid Mesa.
Oh, wow. Did he play land yet?
I don't think so. Why?
Okay, so, I mean, he can just destroy his opponent in 10 ways till Sunday?
Well, I mean, he can block with a Stoneforge Mystic.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
So, I mean, he can attack, equip, force him to lose that Mystic, but...
Yeah, he bounces Batter Skull.
Well, he already brainstormed.
Oh.
But the Mystic,
Yeah, they're pro
yeah.
But then he gets hit back for a lot. Don't know if I like that.
I don't like that at all.
I mean, he has another Mirror Crusader, I guess, is his thinking, but... His opponent has Jace, so he's just going to play Jace. Probably. I guess he could play a Mirror Angel. Oh, he had another direct. No, that was Inquisition.
All right. And on 3rd Mirror Crusader. Now this, I Alex is going to be on 0 cards after this turn. Oh, he's just going to be dead, huh?
I think he just does.
Yeah.
Mirror Crusader doing its work. Like you said, when the Manho works, that guy is strong.
That guy is a beater.
How does he get out of this? He plays a Mirror Angel and then has to play a land? That's the only way he's... If he plays a Mirror Angel and a land, he survives for a turn. He didn't have a land in his hand, though, so he had to draw one.
I mean, did you play 2 Squadron Hawks?
Squadron Hawk got taken with Inquisition. So I guess
a pair of hawks.
Or, I was just saying theoretically speaking, but...
Yes. Theoretically speaking, that would keep him alive.
But.
He'd be at 2 life.
Alright, well, there's a Mirror Angel and a land. So you can Jace back the Angel, yeah, and seems like a bad
Jace backs the token.
Yeah, just the token. That way he has to chump with the Angel.
The Angel gets... Well, I mean, the Angel does get to take out a Mirror Crusader.
Right.
No, he has to block the sword.
Yeah, he has to block the sworded one. Otherwise he dies.
Yeah, I mean, James is in a pretty commanding position here.
What?
What?
Sometimes it seems like Jace is just all brainstorm all the time. I think it's often right to be fate sealing more aggressively than players do and bouncing more aggressively than players
Sometimes I feel
do.
like James Wolfe has made a couple of mistakes this match, or this game specifically. That he would be in a command. If he had a Spell Guide still in play, and that a Mirror Angel dies instead of just this token.
He preordains, ships both of them. Draws a land.
As is often the case when you have Jaced.
And see the Feast and Famine come down this turn. Yeah, that's what it's looking like. Oh, maybe not. Oh, maybe he just sends.
I don't really get what's going on. Like
He
now,
literally,
a Mirror Angel gets to kill one of those, right?
Yep, a Mirror Angel can trade with one of them.
Just like, I just don't get this.
I just don't understand what he's playing around.
What?
Oh my god.
Pull it together, JBL. Pull it together.
So he still has Divine Offering in his hand, right?
Jace could die right here, right? He can actually like move Batterskull over to Mirror Angel, gain a bunch of life.
I mean, he has Divine Offering in his hand.
Oh, okay.
I'm almost
I
positive.
mean, he's definitely winning this game. He's had a Jason play for like a million turns.
But the game that Alex won, he made a bunch of mistakes. And the game that James won, he's made a bunch of mistakes.
Yeah.
So
for everyone at home, if you're playing Cobblade,
the theory is...
Make sure you play especially bad and win the die roll.
Yeah.
Because it's just been who was on the play as one, right?
I think they should actually just mulligan to 0 next game and see what happens. Both of them.
I like it.
Just off the top.
They should play Momir.
Yeah.
Get them over here.
Momir with you just always pay 3 and you choose a random spell out of your deck. You just have all the spells sitting over here.
So there goes Divine Offering from James. Alex puts the Batterskull serves. James Divine Offerings it, so he's going to get some life, kill the Batterskull. James still in a solid position.
Wait, did James kill the Batterskull after Alex attacked? So the Mirror Angel's still untapped?
Apparently.
That's what it looks like.
Well, you can't do it before attacks the Mirror Angel doesn't... Oh, because the
Yeah,
Jace
you do it at the
died.
beginning of combat. Then you just lose your Jace.
I wasn't even paying attention, but yeah, you're right.
All right, so he gets
Chalk one more up.
All right, but that's lethal, and I mean, he had lethal at that point. So
I mean, he didn't know he had lethal. He didn't see what was in Alex's hand yet.
He could have a
Don't try to excuse his poor play. He should be
That's
ashamed
okay.
of himself.
No, I mean, it gets tough, especially when you're under a camera.
I mean-
like you remember the first time that you were playing on camera?
I was playing Necroskidder in GP Seattle.
That deck was awesome. You had Dusk Urchins in that deck? See? I know.
Zanebag,
I know.
who had found out my entire deck list ahead of time. I didn't know. I kind of knew who Zanebag was because he was writing for TCG Player before that. But he acted like he didn't know who it was, despite getting the entire deck from Gavin and knowing my entire list. I played a turn 3 Dusk Urchins. He was playing like Jund And he just played turn 3 Bogarang and attacked immediately.
And you blocked the quickest you've ever blocked in your life.
Because it's a 5-for-1. I draw 4 cards and kill his Bogarang game. And like he was like, oh. And then like the whole match he tries to act like he doesn't know who I am at the end. He's like, I'm a big fan. I'm like, I don't even do anything, but okay.
Dude, I was a big fan before you ever top-aided in Hawaii.
It was I
love your decks forever. Yeah.
I was also a big fan of Conley. We you know, I knew Conley before it was cool to like Conley.
Yeah.
Is this a barn off?
Yeah.
Barn off.
Barn off.
I'm just kidding.
Anyway,
you are.
The best part is they don't know who you're talking to because like the camera's on, so you'll never know who I think.
Everyone knows Gavin is the biggest barn. Not just for me, for everybody. You get paid to do it. It's kind of what this job is. It's like you have to kind of schmooze people a lot.
Let's schmoozing, you know.
I mean,
friendly banter, find some deck
lists. As we're sitting here telling you how badly Alex and James played the last game.
I mean, they're not here. You don't have to schmooze them unless they're here.
I mean, they will 100% listen to this when it goes up online.
They also know they played that badly if they watch this.
Yeah, it's fine. And the other thing is, it's not like we've never played that bad. Like, Conley's had his mistakes. I've had my mistakes. I'm sure Gavin's had his mistakes. Like, we've all played. I've played worse than that. I know I have.
Sure.
Definitely. I've made much larger mistakes on much larger scales than that.
So, it's magic. That's just how they can crumble sometimes.
Plus, they are complicated decks too, right? Like.
Yeah,
but the mistakes that were made. My problem is the mistakes that were made were not complicated situations. It wasn't like playing Stoneforge Mystic when you just let your opponent draw the rest. And it does nothing for your board position. It's just pretty awkward. But again, they were both so far ahead. They probably just got greedy and sloppy and drunken with the win. And
I feel like my friend Steve Miggles said that the reason that he likes the new Darkblade decks is for the same reason he used to like the Ghost Tusk decks, just because it gives you so many options on every turn. And he said when you play against people who are not like very well refined with that style of deck yet, when they're playing the deck, they'll often see I have 5 options, and they can't in their head walk through each of them and remember the information about each of them, so they end up just picking one at random. And
I
he's talking
agree
about
with
that.
It's interesting.
So there's
you bring on more Steven Miggles than just about anyone.
So there's
what is that black card?
That's
Despise.
Oh, okay. It looked like a Black Sun Zenith. I was like, there's no way he's running Black Sun Zenith over Day Judgment.
All right, so he takes the Despise. Meaning James' hand might be pretty spicy.
Yeah, I mean,
or might just have a Stoneforge Mystic.
Might have a Stoneforge, and that's good enough here.
So Alex goes for Preordain.
We've not seen a counterspell yet.
No, we've not.
Entire match. It's kind of crazy. I mean, they have them.
Yeah, there's only 4 between the two.
One had 3 Spell Pierces, the other one had 2 Mana Leaks, right?
No, there are no Spell Pierces.
They both have a pair of Mana Leaks.
That was in the Splinter Twin deck, yeah. All right, so Despise.
Wait, he drew Despise? That's always the worst. You take the card here.
I mean, he preordained at least.
I know, but it's still...
Yeah, it stings.
He missed? Oh, he took Jace. Never mind.
Jace.
There's a Planeswalker. All right, there's a Despise back. Gets Squadron Hawk, leaving Divine Offering in Alex Bertoncini's hand.
That's not a hand you want to have if you are Alex Bertoncini.
I agree.
I mean, James' hand is also not very impressive at this point.
It's got to be better than Divine Offering 3 lands, though.
It's, I think, a sword to go for the... Oh, well, there's the Stoneforge.
It just got better.
It did just get a little bit better.
Alex better hope he drew a Mana Leak. Or that he kept Mana Leaks in. I don't even know how they board.
Do you play Stoneforge Mystic here?
I think I would. I mean, you know what was in his hand from last turn.
Well, I mean, I think you just play Sword of Feast and Famine and then say go, and then the next turn you play...
You know your opponent has Divine Offering, though.
Yeah, I know. Don't you want to just run it into it? No?
But, I mean, maybe. I don't know if he's just going to snap, kill... usually you wait to get more value. I don't know. If he knew Alex was just going to snap, kill a sword, maybe, but...
I mean, it's still at a point in the game where they have few enough lands in play where Alex might use the Divine Offering just to, so that he can tap out and not need to leave the mana open.
Yeah, but he's also got no other options right now, unless he just drew a Jace.
Well, he can draw a Jace off the top of his deck.
He's attacking for 3.
So Alex gets in for 3 of the Creeping Tar Pit and passes back to James Wolfe. James is going to untap with the Stoneforge Mystic, sitting with a sword in his hand and a Batterskull.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And there's a Divine Offering, too.
Batterskull's like... Everyone that said Batterskull was not the real deal. They just don't know what they're talking about. The card's just absurd.
The realest of deals.
I mean, and yes, it is great buddies with Stoneforge Mystic, but I think the card's powerful enough that it will still see play when Stoneforge Mystic has rotated out.
All right, there's Darkslick Shores. And he's going to activate, put the sword on the battlefield. And now Alex has to choose if he wants to Offering it or let Batterskull hit. Alex considering his line of play.
Maybe he drew another Offering. I guess you have to. You can't let him attack it. I don't know why you would do it this now, though. Don't you wait till he equips and then goes to attack? That way you can't put a Batterskull into play?
Yeah.
Okay. Looks like he agrees
He
with
got
us.
there eventually,
He got there.
yeah.
Thought about it.
Here we go. We have...
I mean, this is risky because if he does have a Mana Leak or something like that, then you get hit
Right.
with
So Alex backed him up back to his end step when he tapped the mana to put it in.
Yeah.
And then yeah, he had to think about it. But nope, just gonna go for it now. All right, he equips, he attacks. Alex is going to Divine Offering.
And pray for lack of Mana Leak.
All right, and there is no Mana Leak. Mana Leak is a lie, and
So he gains 2.
Yep.
See, on that turn, I think I just equip the Mystic and then pass, and then because you know your opponent has Divine Offering in their hand, and then on their end step you can just drop the Batterskull on the play,
And then
and
they have to kill 2 things on your turn?
Yeah, then they can't.
There's Jace.
Yeah.
Big Papa Jasons. He brainstormed? That's interesting. There's a Creeping Tarpon in play, right? Am I missing this?
There is a Creeping Tarpon in play.
What is going on? Does he have Dismember, maybe?
I don't know. I don't think he has that in a 75. He's not.
Is this just another really bad play?
Perhaps.
I mean, he had nothing going on. Jace is like the best thing he could possibly hope for, and he just threw it away to a Creeping Tarpon.
Well, unless he thinks he's, yeah, I don't even like bluffing Condemn.
All right. Here we go. Activate a Creeping Tarpon.
He just drew an Inquisition. He just Inquisition first.
Yeah.
In case he has
just in
Dismember.
case he has like.
Basically, Dismember is the card you're worried about, or Disfigure, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was terrible ordering. What the heck? Come on,
But
guys.
he didn't attack with Stoneforge Mystic either, despite being tapped out. But I mean, you know, we'll see what happens here.
He should have also had a Batterskull in play that turn.
He should have had a Batterskull. Should have gotten 4 more damage. He should have not had any risk when he attacked with his Creeping Tarpon. I mean, a lot of things should have happened.
It's actually pretty interesting how all this played out.
So now we have.
What should have been and what has been are drastically far apart at this point.
Alex just wants to thin his deck a little bit with that fetch lands.
So who do you think is ahead right now?
Clearly James. He has a Batterskull in hand. Alex has nothing in hand. And he has a Stoneforge in play. And he has a Creeping Tarpon, for whatever that's worth. They both have Creeping Tarpons, I guess.
Yeah, James. I think the draw steps can be so bomby in this.
No, of course.
Matchup too. Like,
I mean, it's definitely Haymaker magic.
Too bad neither of them have Gideon, because Gideon would be insane right now.
yeah, Gideon would be insane right now.
Well,
Squadron
Squadron
Hawk?
Hawk's pretty good.
Not too bad.
Translates into, he gets 3 into play.
And Batterskull will take another turn to get down, so the Squadron Hawks maybe do some work if he draws the right card. Let's see what happens on James' turn. Alright, so activates Tarpit, serves in for 3.
I don't really like that. He has Go for Throat in hand, and if Alex top decks a piece of equipment, he's going to be killing himself. They didn't leave open Go for the Throat. And Stoneforge Mystic simultaneously. Like, the 3 damage is...
I think that's a swamp right there. It's a swamp and a plants, I'm pretty sure.
No, I know,
Yeah,
but
but now
he
he has to make a choice.
he can't
He can't
Stoneforge
use
and Go for the
Batterskull.
Throat.
Oh,
He
right.
can't Batterskull.
The that 3 damage there is almost irrelevant.
Yeah, sure.
Especially because next turn he's going to start Batterskulling.
Yeah, I agree with that play.
I mean, the chance of him drawing on equipment is obviously not very high, but he also can hit Stoneforge into equipment. Like, you just don't want to risk not having a Batterskull in play.
Down comes Batterskull. All right, so James Wolfe has a Batterskull now. For those of you just joining us,
He just drew a Jace too. This is over.
the board state is a Batterskull and Stoneforge Mystic versus 3 Squadron Hawks on Alex Bertoncini's side.
Why did he leave open 3 mana and not play the last? Oh, the last Hawk got Inquisition probably. There was only 3 of them.
And there's a Jace for James Wolfe. He's going to push him pretty far ahead.
I don't think Creeping Tar Pit plus 2 Hawks is racing Batterskull.
Okay, good. I like this Fate Seal.
And he puts all on the bottom. So
I mean, Fate Seal's fine. I think either mode's fine there though. Jace is going to die if it wants to die, no matter what. And so one way you're getting card advantage, the other way you're making sure.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm just saying. I think both. And
Well, Jace isn't going to die if he uses to go for the throat.
I didn't know if he was going to use to go for the throat.
Yeah.
Again, he doesn't have to. Like his Jace is not integral to game at this point.
Well, by putting it up to 5, you encourage your opponent to do that, though, and then it's at 3, and then you get a Brainstorm, and they still have to attack it
Or
twice.
you just top deck the War and Piece.
Wow.
Why
That's a draw
Jace?
step.
Why Jace when you top deck a War and Piece? I mean, it's not even. It does 1 extra damage, but it's still just absurd.
Well, 2 from the pump, but yeah.
Yeah,
And it can't be blocked by Hawks anymore either.
So
I'm surprised he
cracks it for
didn't
8.
Brainstorm before
Why would you equip it onto Batterskull so you gain more life? Don't you just gain 2 extra life if you equip it on a Batterskull? Okay, I just want to make sure.
All right, and Alex, I mean, James is pretty far ahead at that point.
Well,
So-
that was the
so
theme of the
Alex
match.
backs
Every
it
time
in.
somebody got far ahead, they just started